at a decent time, and again I'm conscious I haven't put much up lately. Down at the side of this lovely old bridge, and this is a place where I've driven past for going on 19 years now, where when I've been working down here, I never really had a wander down. So I'm going to show you something interesting and something really historically important down here by the side of Devil's Water. This is what we've come to see, the Dukesfield arches. This was an old smelt mill, and these arches and a few bits of remains are all that's left of it. And it was done up quite a few years ago. It laid in ruins for long enough, and some of the local residents and people who live around here got together and it's been restored. Now the Dukesfield Smelt Mill goes back a long way, and quite a lot of ore from the Ulston Moor field came across to Dukesfield Mill here to be smelted, and then the rest of the lead then went down into Newcastle. So the arches that you can see, this is actually where the flue to the chimney was. The equivalent of the Roman Arch of Titus. There's one like this also going over near Ruck. That famous arch, the Ruck Arch, that looks like something, again, some Roman remains left in the middle of nowhere. They're fantastic. Now, the idea of these long flues was not only just to get the poisonous stuff right on the moors out the way of the people, but also to retrieve as much of the lead as they possibly can, because quite a few of the lead particles went along with the smoke. So as the smoke went up these flues and it cooled, the lead particles would embed themselves on the side of the flue, and every now and again somebody would have the awful job of going up that flue and knocking the lead particles off. Not very good for your health. Now it's thought that these chambers were possibly filled full of brushwood, again, to collect the particles of lead and stop them going all the way up the flue. But apart from the flue and what's left of it, really there's not a great deal left of where the smelt mill was. This is where the water wheel pit would have been. Water would have been got from all over the moors, all over the fells there. And this smelt mill ran for about 170 years. It belonged to the Blacketts, and it finally closed in 1835. So it had a heck of a long life, and then the finished product could be away down the Tyne towards Bladen. You know, you had the lead shop works at Bladen, the big tower there. And as we know, lead has a silver content. So in 1765 they built a plant here to refine as much silver back out of the lead as they possibly could. And also you get your lead oxide for paints and for making glass. So lead was important not just for lead products, but also for coinage as well.
I am the superior of a large industrial boom. I own land, rights, and it's simply va-va-voom. What starts in the ground turns into money. I'm rich beyond belief now. I think it's quite funny.
Or, it's the craze of the century. Or, it's the purse of the gentry. Smelt, it's the wealth in the land, and we'll stop at nothing to make a few grand.
I employ Racket, and he looks at me in awe.
Actually, I look at her and I tremble on the floor.
He must be quite bright, quick with his mind.
I am both of these, Mrs. Wilmot, and also very kind.
Or, it's the craze of the century. Or, it's the purse of the gentry. Smelt, it's the wealth in the land, and we'll stop at nothing to make a few grand.
Now, I employ Blunter, and he looks up to me.
A white collar, brown nose is all that I see.
An agent's life's a tough one of steel, wheel and deal.
With nasty violent men who would hide, bury and conceal.
Such a lot of fuss when my only issue is wealth. It surely passes down the line, and to pot with their health.
Or, it's the craze of the century. Or, it's the purse of the gentry. Smelt, smelt, it's the wealth in the land. And we'll stop at nothing to make a few grand. And we'll stop at nothing to make a few grand.
So unlike many of the local smelt mills, it wasn't a long flue this. This is roughly where about the chimneys would have been, short stubby chimneys. And you can see, from looking at the topography behind, it wouldn't have been good. It would have caused an awful lot of pollution. It was normal really to take the flues right up on the fells, away from inhabitation. And I think the thought behind it as well was getting far more lead reclamation back out of the flue. As you can imagine, to get Orier from Ulster Moor, there was an army of pack horses, because that's how it's got here. So yeah, there'd be literally hundreds of pack ponies a day coming in and out of this place, and then getting the finished product away back down to, well, down the Tyne. So we're at Duke's House Wood, we're at the side of Devil's Water in Northumberland, and we're sort of between the villages really, the Juniper and the Steel, and then Whitley Chapel this way. And it's well worth a walk, and they're trying to make it so it's friendly for families to walk across. There's a good path, good cycle way. Come and have a look. Anyway, I'm off home now because Sam's doing a shepherd's pie, and it's louse.